I lost 95 pounds. 95. And some days I still feel like the heaviest person in the room. Not because I am, because the weight that I'm carrying now isn't on my body. It's in my head. And nobody warned me about that weight. When you're heavy, you tell yourself a story. When I lose the weight, everything changes. The confidence, the energy, the way people look at you, the way you look at yourself. You believe, you have to believe, that the physical transformation will fix the internal ones. So you do the work, you lose the weight, 95 pounds in my case, and you wait for the shift. You wait to feel different. And some days you do. Some days you stand in the mirror and you still see 408 pounds. That's the weight that stays. And it's the hardest weight I've ever tried to lose. Let me tell you what nobody tells you about losing a lot of weight. Your eyes don't update. I still avoid full-length mirrors, not because I hate what I see, because what I see doesn't match what I feel. The reflection shows someone who's done serious work, but my brain is still running the old software. Still scanning the room for the biggest chair, still turning sideways in doorways out of habit, still bracing for the look, the comment, the judgment. Even when it doesn't come. I bought a jacket 3 months ago. I grabbed a 4XL off the rack. The guy at the counter said, "That's gonna be too big for you." I didn't believe him. He was right. That's what identity lag looks like. Your body changed, your brain didn't get the update, and until it does, you're walking around in a body that doesn't match the person you think you are. That disconnect is exhausting. More exhausting than any workout I've ever done. Here's the thing. The habits that built the weight don't die when the weight comes off. I used food to cope for decades. Bad day at work, I ate. Conflict with somebody I loved, I ate. Lonely, bored, anxious, angry, I ate. Food was the solution to every problem that didn't have an easy answer. And losing 95 pounds doesn't fix that wiring. It just means I'm now fighting the urge to cope with food while also fighting the urge to use bourbon instead. Trading one demon for another. I actually know somebody I used to work with once upon a time. At the time, he was a crackhead, but he was one of those functioning crackheads. You know, like I said, we worked together. We used to clean up a school at night, getting ready for the students the next day. But one day he told me that, he was telling me about his drug journey. He told me that he had to start smoking crack to get off heroin. And I was in my early 20s when he told me this, and that had to be one of the funniest things I had ever heard in my life. But here I am, almost 20 years later, and for some reason I never forgot that conversation. It's not funny to me now in a way of like, I understand, getting off something drastic and, doing something to get off of that, but you're just trading one demon for the other. I can get deeper into that. I'll save that for another video, but I just remembered that he said that, and as funny as it was at the time, it has stuck with me to this day. But anyway, the part that nobody talks about in the weight loss success stories, they show you the before and after photo. They don't show you the midnight in month 8 when you've been white knuckling it against every old habit you thought you'd beaten. That weight is a symptom. The habits are the disease, and the habits stay longer after the weight is gone. I need to talk about confidence, because we sell a lie in the fitness space. Like, confidence is stored in your fat cells, and the more you lose, the more you find. That's not how it works. I know this because I'm 95 pounds lighter, and I still hesitate before walking into a room full of people. I still rehearse what I'm going to say before I say it. I still assume people are judging my body before hearing my words. I still shrink. Not as much, I give the journey that, but I still shrink. Because confidence isn't built by the absence of weight. It's built by the presence of evidence. Evidence that you showed up when it was hard. Evidence that you kept going when you wanted to stop. Evidence that you are, in fact, who you say you are. I'm building that evidence. 95 pounds of it. But the confidence isn't automatic. It's earned. Slowly, imperfectly, one day at a time. And just like the weight loss itself, one day at a time. Here's the one that really gets me. I've been the big guy my whole life. Not just physically, as an identity. The big guy in the room, the big personality, the one who makes himself easy to overlook so nobody notices how much space he takes up. That identity was built over decades. And when you lose 95 pounds, you lose the body. I don't know who I am without the weight. I know that sounds strange, but think about it. Every coping mechanism I had was built around being heavy. Every way I moved through the world, every assumption I made about how people saw me, every story I told myself about what was and wasn't possible for me, all of it was constructed around a body that no longer exists. So now I'm 95 pounds lighter, and I'm essentially rebuilding my identity from scratch, figuring out who Coach Ron is when he's not the 408-pound guy anymore. Not the finished guy, I'm not there yet, but not the starting point guy either. I'm somewhere in between, in this strange no man's land where the old identity doesn't fit and the new one isn't fully formed yet. And that in-between space is its own kind of weight. Mental weight. What is mental weight actually? It's the shame that outlives the body that caused it. It's the muscle memory of shrinking yourself. It's the voice that says you don't belong here in rooms where you've earned your seat. It's the midnight research on shortcuts when you've already done the hard work. It's the comparison to where you thought you'd be by now. It's the grief of lost years, lost opportunities, lost versions of yourself that never got to exist because the weight was in the way. That grief is real, and you don't get to skip it just because the scale number went down. Here's what I want you to take from this. If you're in a transformation and you feel like something is wrong because you don't feel as good as you thought you would at this point, nothing is wrong. The mental weight is real. It's not a sign that you failed. It's not a sign that transformation isn't working. It's the work nobody warned you about. The physical transformation is the visible part. The mental transformation is the part that actually changes your life. And it takes longer. It's messier. It doesn't have a finish line you can step across and celebrate. It just slowly gets lighter. One day you realize you grabbed the right size jacket. One day you walk into a room without rehearsing. One day you look in the mirror and the person looking back feels familiar. I'm not there yet, but I'm lighter than I was in every way that matters. If you're carrying this weight too, you're not alone. Come find me at fullfitnessdc.com. We'll carry it together. I'm Coach Ron, and I'm gone.
What's up? It's your boy Drizzy Drake, and you are now rocking with Pain.